Dog was spitting on that shit, dog. Yeah. Pac was banging everybody. Man.
I heard he was doing Madonna and everybody.
Yeah, Madonna.
Him and Haitian Jack.
Hornet.
Right.
I watched that shit with him and Dale. He tried to say he ain't, but
yeah, but even more than you know that shit.
You gotta say that. I got you.
But all these niggas, that be the game too. I think the realest person, the person who kept the most 100 was Freeway Ricky. And he was, you know, they asked him about snitching. He was like, that's the part of the game. That's what everybody fucking do. Even with, we ain't recording now. We live.
Yeah.
So I ain't gonna say too much. But it's people in the city, you know what I'm saying, who grand jury and sealed, what they call it, sealed, what is it, sealed?
Discovery.
Yeah, but it be sealed, so it don't cut, so it can't come. It ain't never public information.
Yeah.
And the motherfuckers still act like they ain't snitches. Like, no, nigga, this shit is.
And he's supposed to be in jail for 20 years. How you out?
Shit, these motherfuckers who had that, who do 20 and 30 still, who probably should have had life.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just, man.
In 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yo, you are tuned into the G-Spot Presents every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Our gathering place where we support artistry, free thought, love, and some aspects of social responsibility. And we're live.
So we're live, y'all. It's
We
Javon
live.
with the G-Spot, y'all. G here.
I'm Chris, and we got my homie Jew from the hood.
What's going
You
on?
know,
What's going on? It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and so we're gonna have some conversations about, you know, what he has going on, so far as music, movies, and a lot of other things, and just discovering who he is as a person and the things that he's been through in life to get to where he is now. And it's gonna shock y'all because I know this brother. I've been knowing him for a long time. You know, he's been knowing my family. I've been knowing his family, and you know, and I'm gonna say personally, every time you come around, I'm shocked at the new things you got going on. You know, and it's just amazing of what a black man can become from Milwaukee. Absolutely. You know, and so it's a pleasure to have you here, brother.
Appreciate it. Thank y'all for having me.
Yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
Julien.
yeah.
So Julien Jew Johnson, he's a music executive. He has his own record label. He is an all-around entrepreneur. We were just talking off the scene about some other things he's working on, and I just can't wait to get into all of this that he has under his belt. Thank you, Chris. So Julien, how long? Can I call you Julien?
Absolutely, Jew, whatever you want to call me.
Okay, all right, Jew. How long have you been in the entertainment industry?
Well, I started off in the industry 2016 when I was down in Atlanta. And I partnered up with a guy who was he was an executive with Epic, and so I had a couple of dollars at the time, so I figured the marriage made sense. So he turned out to be what a lot of people in the industry are, fake as hell, you know. So
Damn.
that relationship dissolved, and then I got into some other stuff, took some time off, and once COVID hit, I jumped back in, you know. So I actually lost my restaurant that I had in Vegas due to COVID, you know. So
remember that was the lobster.
Yep, the
really?
Crab King. So instead of sitting around kicking myself, you know, I said, what the hell am I gonna do? So I had access to a few artists at the time, so I started shopping them around and ended up getting a deal with Empire. So I signed my distribution deal with them in probably a month after the COVID hit.
So COVID didn't keep. So a lot of times we think that COVID was a culprit to destroying businesses and everything, but you know, where there's some kind of deficiency, where there's some kind of lack, we know that's the what they say, the father to ingenuity or something like that, or to you know. But I can't remember right now, but but it didn't stop you. You found another way.
Absolutely. And like I said, I lost the business, so that was the curse. But you know, not sitting around and soaking in the pain, because I lost a lot of money. I just had to reinvent myself and get back into something that I was doing before.
All right.
So you know, here I am.
So this takes me back to the very beginning, because you know we're older now, you know, and a lot more mature. but the ideal of having suffering a setback, but then coming back and being greater, that comes from somewhere else. So let's go all the way back to the beginning, man. Where are you from?
Man, I'm from the north side, like all of us, 24 place an hour to be exact.
Milwaukee, y'all.
Yes.
Milwaukee. And a lot of my makeup comes from my grandmother. I watched her do some amazing stuff with 4 kids of her own, then taking over raising her children's children, and then raising her grandchildren's children. So this strong woman who I come from is like, she's instilled so much in me that, quitting is never an option. You know what I mean? So that's the thing, no matter what we go through or no matter what happens or take place, we gotta always, pick our head up and keep it moving.
Some resilience.
Absolutely.
So before because I know first of all, you've done so much based on some of the stuff I've looked at. It looks like you were in the military.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
had the restaurant. You dabbled in some real estate.
I'm a licensed realtor too out in Vegas. So
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So like, what is that? Where does that come from? I mean, you explained your grandmother. It's just kind of no shortcuts, but.
Man, wanting to win pretty much. I just want to win just because you from the ghetto. I mean, you have to be of the ghetto. You know what I mean? So I was raised in the hood just like everybody else, but going that route, and of course I got people that's in the streets, and I was in the streets a little bit myself, but even when I was doing that, I went into that with an exit plan.
Yeah.
I want to do this for a certain amount of time, then I'm out, because
Most definitely.
that only leads 2 places. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Those 2 places I do not want to be. So
Yeah.
So do you reside here in Milwaukee and Vegas?
yeah, once COVID happened and all the uncertainty that was going on with that, I figured I'd come home where family is, instead of just sitting out in Vegas where I really didn't know anybody. So I'm gonna come home and tap in with my people, especially once I got the deal. So once I got the deal with Empire, my whole thing was to come home and try to get somebody up out of home first.
Yes.
So that's not going too good. I got the project out, but these artists here, man, they just don't get it. So I'm just keeping it moving.
Speak
man.
on that. What do you mean by that? We ain't gonna leave that.
Yeah,
That's
cool.
dry space right now. We gotta go into that.
Well, a lot of artists feel like their talent trumps the business side of it, and artists out there, it does not. So get that out of your mind. So if somebody's willing to spend their time, energy and money and all that on you to get you up out of where you are, you have to respect that and kind of follow their lead, so to speak. Don't come in with your chest out and your mouth open.
Yeah.
You can come with your chest out, but have your mouth closed and your ears and eyes open. And you'll get far.
Almost like a distro. So you got the product, the person got the product, but has no way of distributing it.
Right. Exactly.
And that's where the distro comes in.
Absolutely.
So
global distro too.
Yeah.
It's a major thing. I got a global distribution deal with Empire, so I could go onto the site right now and put an album out if I want to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's the great thing about it. But it's just I refuse to lose, man. So that's just who I am. So yeah.
Now I know I've been knowing you for a while, and I've never heard you use somebody else's platform to big yourself up.
Right.
And now when it comes to your own family, you have a huge platform.
Man.
You want to speak on that?
Man, where do I start? With my uncle, he was the first Black elected senator in the state of Wisconsin.
Okay.
Then the tons of other people that people may or may not know, but I was raised around, the most powerful Black man who the government won't touch. I won't say his name, but I think
we're gonna leave that there.
I think if you're smart enough, you can know who I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
So I was raised around that. So
the most powerful Black man in America right now, who can you think of? Who the government won't fuck with?
Will not touch. They've been trying, but
Let me look in the comments.
yeah.
We're gonna leave that alone.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that
Ain't gonna
alone.
speak on it, but y'all can guess.
Yeah, I got some major people in my family. My uncle, he's the only gold medalist, or one of the first gold medalists from Wisconsin. He won the triple jump in Atlanta. So I just been privy to a lot of stuff, man. So I just try to rub that off to the people that's around me. Just to be from here. We could be as great as we want to be.
So how important is that legacy to you, of maintaining that legacy?
Man, it's very important, and that's why a lot of stuff I don't do. Like there's some people I want to rough up, but at the end of the day, I have to answer to them. You know what I'm saying? So I refuse to let them down. So no matter what I'm going through or what somebody take from me, you know, it's kind of like, you kind of got to let it go. Because like I said, I refuse to die or go to jail, you know, and it's just sad that we have to be our, damn, I couldn't even, we just so messed up with each other, you know, and it's sad at the end of the day. So, you know, keeping a level head through all this messes, it's tough, you know, it's difficult. And when you don't respond to certain stuff, I ain't gonna lie, you feel a certain way, you know,
most definitely.
like, but I ain't no punk. It's just, I feel like you're a bigger person by letting certain stuff go.
Trust me, and trust me, I have my own experiences with that.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's just, you know, who I am, man. So
It takes a lot more power and restraint to control those situations as opposed to react to them.
100%.
Who are some of your influences? And I asked this about the industry, but being that you've done and dabbled in so much, and you do dabble in so much,
so many different industries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
who influences you, whether it be celebratory or, you know, any?
Well, just anybody who keeps it moving, man, and succeeds. You know, one of my main influences is Jay-Z, Floyd Mayweather. I think his story is crazy. How he, you know, cut his promotion off for the people who had him by the collar. He cut them off, started doing his own thing, and within 10 years, he's up damn near $1 billion. You know, so that's somebody I look up to. But just even regular people who are successful and who fail, I mean, who refuse to quit, they inspire me heavily. You know, my grandmother, my grandfather, you know, my mother, all those type of people, my uncle, you know, so my family, I was raised by a real deep family, man. I'm talking about aunties, uncles, cousins, you know, that, you know, made sure I was good, you know, so.
Who inspired me? Who inspired the entrepreneurial part of
Oh, that was,
because I mean, you came from what high school did you go to?
I went to Washington High School, man, 1999. I went to school with your sister, actually, Carrie Lynn. We were just talking about her earlier. So, you know, yeah, I'm a product of Washington, you know, so.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but my grandfather really, my mother's father, he's been an entrepreneur forever. Worked for the SBA, and he actually had a lawsuit against him, and he won back in the day, you know. So I watched him own grocery stores. He owned the Scrubber Dub on 27 in Capitol, right next to the Popeyes, you know, and he's been in real estate. So at the time, you know, he's strict, you know. So as a kid, we all stayed away from him, be like, oh, he mean. But once I grew up and understood what life was really about, like, oh, this is somebody I need to tap into and get some game from. So he has about 6 or 7 properties to this day here still. Mansion down in Atlanta where he resides now. A couple cribs in Lake Geneva and all over. He's currently looking for a spot in Florida to buy.
Is he doing some Airbnb? Because I need to go. I need to stay somewhere. I need a vacation.
We putting him on that. He's older, so he's not really up into the Airbnb. He's just got a lot of rentals and flips and all that type of stuff. But you know, we're trying to get him in the Airbnbs, but he's 85, you know, so he's chilling with his feet up, you know. So
beautiful. That's beautiful.
And so that's that legacy that's continuing on in you, and that's in spirit, and that's what you will pass down to other members of your family. And the thing is, I can speak to that because, you know, I was talking to Javon earlier about this. You know, when I was younger, and I was touring with Growing Nation across the country. I was touring also with your cousin,
right?
With Clutch. They call him Mr. Clutch.
Shout out to Mr. Clutch.
Yes, sir. Ronnie Johnson.
Clutch.
Yeah. And so, you know, we would go throughout the Midwest with Twister.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, I was on a couple of those shows.
Yes.
He was with Black Eye or something like that. Yeah, so I think we did a show down in Rockford one time.
Yep.
I remember that for sure. Yeah. So I really should have gotten into the game then because I'm not an artist, so I should have got in on the beat side or the business side, but I was just with him, supporting him. So now I'm in the music game, and so hopefully I'll get to put out his album that he's working on. So
you scored a soundtrack. You produced a soundtrack for the movie Circumstances Part 2. What is that? First of all, like, what is that like? And then, like, what does it take to create that? Because I imagine it's a lot of work.
Well, you know, what I believe in is it's not necessarily what you know, it's who you know. So shout out to my man Swift Sloan, who's the producer and director of Circumstances 2.
Shout out Swift.
You know, once I got my deal, I was talking to him about a story I want to do of my own. There's some family drama, but we could probably touch on that in a second. But he was aware of my deal, and so once I got back home from Vegas, he took me out to PF Chang's. We sat down at lunch. He said, "Man, what you think about doing this soundtrack? You know, I'll give you the rights if you want to do it. You interested?" I'm like, "Shit, what you think?" You know, absolutely. So I knew I could put this soundtrack together and distribute it on the national level. So yeah.
And you got some heavy hitters on here. We got Milwaukee's own baby Drew.
Shout out to Drew.
You got
Hey,
Sada,
Drew.
baby.
Hey, listen, Drew gonna be on here the next.
Drew gonna be on the
next
show
week, right?
next week.
Really? Okay.
What up, Drew? We
What
gonna
up,
see
Drew?
you soon.
You know,
Drew.
it's crazy that y'all mentioned Drew, because once the project fell in my lap, he was the first person I had in mind, because I feel like he's the king of Milwaukee, and I feel like he didn't really go where he should have went.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Because Drew got some smoke, you know what I'm saying?
Different circumstances.
Right. So
You know.
I just felt like I wanted to start with him.
Yeah.
You know, and then like I said before, I wanted it to be all about Milwaukee. So just about every artist on there is from here except for one. My man Jay Trax, he's from Louisiana, but we got a couple features on there too, like I mentioned, Sada Baby, Jazzy
Sada Baby. I love Sada Baby.
Jazzy Faye on there.
Oh, Jazzy Faye producing.
You know what I'm saying? So
Lord.
he got a song on there with my cousin KK. So
Okay.
like I said, I wanted it to be all about Milwaukee, you know, because a lot of people talk is put on for the city stuff, but you know, I really live it. So everything I do, I try to reach down and bring somebody up with me. Now, does it work all the time? Absolutely not, because people just don't get it, you know. So people come across opportunity, the first thing they thinking is money, which is cool. We all want money, but sometimes you're not gonna get paid for certain stuff. So sometimes you have to put the work in and then let the money come on the back end, you know. So
especially when you're dealing with organizations that actually have the resources to push that artist, you know, and there's, you know, a lot of times, a lot of artists that they put in so many years of work that they think is deserved to them already, but they haven't made anything substantial for themselves through their own efforts.
100%.
You know,
100%. So it was like, why wouldn't you take advantage of a free placement? And a lot of people don't even know what a placement is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Can you explain that?
Well, a placement is anything you do that's pretty much that reaches the masses and it's on a national level. So with this being a national distributed soundtrack, you get a placement for that. And so my man who helped me put it together, Sid 55, he's legendary. His studio is my studio as well, and he's had everybody down there.
Where is that located?
It's in Milwaukee.
Okay.
You know, anybody who want to work, they can tap in and we can get a location.
So we
actually
got a clip, Drew, sorry to interrupt you, of the trailer for Circumstances too. And it has, I'm imagining, music that you put together in the background. So we just gonna play that right quick, if you don't mind.
Absolutely. That's the homework, huh?
Oh yeah, we got to do it.
Just don't understand why you was still so low, agent. I mean, out of all the people to lose your life and career over, you picked this scumbag. You do remember Kimmy. Mom, I'm fine.
Gotta beat the circumstances.
You know what it is. I hold them on to the show. I want them in the city by 1300.
Gotta beat the circumstances.
Yeah, I know you want to get involved, don't you? Get involved with what?
Foster P! What's up, the whole city know me.
Remember what happened to Rhare?
For real? You Hollywood, huh?
Oh, I see. Suckers got a warrant trying to run up in my house, tell them back up.
You're a hard ass. That's enough, Mr. Levitt.
All we know is rack up. Money getters with the sack tuck. Doing numbers till we back up. Heavy on the grind. Money on my mind. I was doing good till they got me from behind. Got some killers on my line. Real as by my side. And the judge wanna give me by the way that I provide. Baby, tell the lies. Gotta beat the circumstances. Gotta beat the circumstances. Gotta beat the circumstances. Gotta beat the circumstances. Grind hard to get by. Grind hard to get by. Trying to see $1 million in cash before I die.
That's live. Now, when I saw the first movie, the first Circumstances, I was like, well, this is dope because it's based out of Detroit. It was based out of Detroit, but it involved the brother who played Biggie.
He was in the second one.
He was in the second one?
Yeah, he was in the second one.
He's in the second one. We just showed, right?
Okay. So I saw him in another Detroit movie then.
Yeah. This one, the first one, it was shot between Detroit and Milwaukee, but the second one was shot solely here.
Okay.
We got it done in about 10 days, and actually, they just finished the script for 3. So, and also shout out to Swift, man. Like, that's a good brother, man.
We're gonna try to work on getting Swift on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Swift, you gotta come on through, baby.
Yeah.
And I'll come back with him too. But he just finished another movie called Untitled, so I'm working on a soundtrack for that. But that's gonna be more on the R&B vibe. You know what I mean?
No,
So,
I think that might be the one where Charles, the author that was here, is in that movie. I think that's the one he was talking about. Is the guy who played Biggie in that one too?
he's in the second one. He's in the Untangled one he just shot.
What's his name? Why we keep calling him Biggie?
Shout out to Gravy, Jamal Woodard. Of course, he's Notorious fame. He played Biggie in Notorious. But he was also in Steve-O's movie that's dropping in July. Trust Nobody.
That's what.
So shout out to Steve-O too.
Okay,
Yeah.
shout out Steve-O.
So this
Steve-O, he handles Drew. So when Drew comes, Steve-O probably.
Steve is just money.
Holla.
Yeah. So this ain't no small Ricky Dick shit. You know, even though compared to your larger Hollywood movies.
Right.
But however, when it comes to the underground and when it comes to film and music that we control, this is it right here. You know, and so it's amazing that it's even in this category, in this conversation. So we're talking about artists who are on the soundtrack, and also part to this movie was filmed in Milwaukee.
Oh, the whole movie was filmed here.
Oh shit.
Yeah, the whole movie. So, a lot of people say this or that, but when you got a brother from where we come from that do movies, and then he brings me into the fold and I handle the soundtrack thing, it's a big deal, but we don't walk around beating our horn, but
Yeah.
it is a big deal. So Circumstances to the Soundtrack is the first and only soundtrack that was done in the state of Wisconsin, period. You know what I'm saying?
So this is history being
Yeah,
made
history,
right now.
Absolutely.
Beautiful. I can't wait to check it out, y'all. We got our own personal CD, so we're gonna check it out.
Yes. And shout out to all the artists from Milwaukee who are
Absolutely.
on this soundtrack. You want to speak to any of the artists that's on here? Like, what was the? I don't want to do that. I was going to ask you, what was your favorite artist to work with on this soundtrack?
Well, I'm gonna be real. My little brother, man, Looney Baby, free Looney Baby, man. I love that little
Free
dude,
Looney
man.
Baby.
What's going on,
He
Looney?
ain't no little dude, but that's my
Yeah,
little
he ain't no
brother.
little nigga.
But
yeah, that was going on.
free Looney Baby, man.
Yeah.
That's one of the most talented dudes, out. Like all his stuff is off the dome for real.
Yeah.
Like no right, no nothing. We take road trips and we go do business in Atlanta. And then the Sprinter is all his new stuff. The whole ride there and the whole ride back. So shout out to Looney Baby. Shout out to Little Chicken too, man.
And that takes me to somewhere because we done had some dealings, with Lil Chicken and in that sense, from my perspective, from my vantage, working with 414 Life, with some things going on in the city, and it's a blessing to have things that turned out in the right way. But these are real individuals. These ain't no studio gangsters and none of that kind of shit. These are real people who have real lives and who are trying to do something with themselves. Other than than the obvious I don't know, I guess stigmas that they put on Black people and Black men. These are good brothers.
Absolutely. And shout out to everybody that, worked with me on putting this together. It's fire, if I must say so myself,
Hey, that track that was playing on the trailer,
I was
like,
that's actually Swift's little cousin, Vic. So shout out to Vic and all the artists, man. Appreciate y'all.
Slick
helping
Vic.
put that together. Yep, Slick Vic.
So let me hear. Now I want to hear I think the people deserve to hear your thoughts on the state of Milwaukee and the state of the things that we're going through in the city. We got the Stolies going on. We got these senseless murders and everything. And to a person who sees a movie like Circumstances too, they may feel like, are we perpetuating this thing, or or what are we really trying to do with this? What's your take?
Well, I think the main thing is we have to understand that whether it's the music or the actual content, that is just entertainment. So we have to be smart enough to just accept it as just that. That don't mean you see a killing in a movie to go out and do it on your brother. And it's just a sad state where we are. And it's not only a Milwaukee thing, it's us, period. So a lot of people be like, I need to get out of Milwaukee, this, that, and the third. That shit is happening everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's just sad, and a lot of people say, well, we're part of our environments, but that's true. But we still have to be smart enough to rise above the bullshit that these folks are doing.
Well, our environment is not just the bullshit. It's just not the crime. It's another side of our environment too that doesn't get a lot of airplay.
Right.
The righteousness that's going on. We got brothers like David Muhammad with the NOI in Milwaukee.
Shout out
David.
I know about the NOI very well.
So
shout out to the NOI. Wink, wink. But it's just sad, man. So I think the first thing to right in this ship is respect, man. Like I've been through everywhere, all the parking lots, the berry lands. I've been through Cabrini Greens, the rubber trailers. I've been out to Watts. I've been to Oak Cliff. I've been through the bluff down in
Shout out to my homie, my sister Jazzy, who from Robert Taylor's.
Yeah, so I've been through all these places, and not on some tough shit. It's just when I roll through these places, it's respect. So when you see a brother out who look like he's going through the same thing, just what's up, bro? So that kind of keeps all the negative stuff around. Like I don't have any problems with anybody. I go anywhere I want, and like I said, it's not on being tough. It's just I carry myself with respect. I give it out. So most of the time, that's just what I get back.
And it's a misconception that people think that you have, in order to have a connection with the streets, that you got to be of the streets. That's the biggest lie in the fucking world. And I hate it because people looking for your tags and your flags or whatever, and who you associated with in order to be in certain places. Is like that ain't how it is.
Right.
A lot of times love take you to those places.
I don't care what flag you claim, what fork you throw up or throw down. If you respect me, I respect you. So it's just as simple as that, man. We gotta respect each other, man. Period. So we gotta stop the killing, but we gotta stop doing the shit that get you killed too. Like robbing each other, playing with each other kids, raping kids. We gotta stop all that, because certain stuff, it warrants the stuff that's happening. This stuff is not random. Most of it is not random. Somebody did something to somebody and they came to see you. So we gotta stop all of that, man, because they're not gonna respect us till we respect ourselves.
Most definitely.
Most definitely do all that Black Matters Live stuff all they want. But if they don't matter to us, they damn sure not gonna matter to them.
That
you know
part.
what I'm saying? And
That
so
part.
I expect them to treat us like that because history has shown that's who they are. From the Tuskegee Airmen and coming and saying you're curing them, but you're giving them syphilis. Black Wall Street.
Just talked about that
all
today.
that stuff.
The president just brought that
they
up.
show us from day one who they are. So we got to be smart enough to rise above that.
So the president is talking about, he had a speech the other day. Me and Javon had a conversation about it. I don't know, Javon, you want to go into it? But I was just thinking about, like, what are your thoughts on it? He said some things about it. Of course, it was the 100-year anniversary of when it happened. Do you think there's going to be any kind of reparations that goes to that community, or even enlarge, the entire Black community?
Listen, I don't care nothing about what he's saying, because that stuff he did back in the 90s, I hold him to that.
Incarceration, baby.
I ain't buying none of it. So in order for me to take this place serious, for one, they got to get rid of the national anthem, because I know what the national anthem is. I know about that third verse that they don't want you to hear. You know what I'm saying? And so until they get rid of that,
that explicitly talks about the slave.
Exactly. Until they get rid of that, and then they come with some real reparations, then I'll take this place serious. But until then, like on another podcast that we brought this up, I'm uninterested, because I know it's all fluff. I know it's all smoke. They trinkle a couple dollars in our pocket and think we supposed to be okay with that. No, keep that shit. I mean, I got it, but I wasn't sitting around waiting on it. I just happened to hit my account and so I was there.
But what you're owed is so much more than what you have.
Absolutely. Give us all 100 million, if y'all serious, or, something, some land and all that, because land is where it's at. So I'm just, and the person I was raised around, we ain't trying to hear none of that, because, he's implanted in me and everybody else what it really is. So
I still want to tell y'all who it is.
So you were in the Army.
Yes, ma'am. And he hated that.
So like what drove you to do that?
Well,
how do you mix those two?
A lot of people, see what I got going on and just think it's been success the whole time, and it haven't been. I was messed up around 2008 or something when I went in. I lost a lot of money, so I was messed up. So I was actually staying with a friend, and he would have let me stay with him forever. But as a man, it was like, yo, I gotta get the hell out of here. Shout out to my boy Ray Lynn. But it was like, I gotta get up out of here. So I had another friend, my best friend Randy. He was a recruiter in the Army. He said, hey, they'll give you 20,000 if you go. 20,000. Okay. I could use that, so let's go. I said, but hey, we need to strategically put this together so I'm comfortable. And so him as a recruiter, he made me comfortable, so I went and did it. But I went into it looking at it like, I know if I have this on my resume, the ceiling wouldn't even be the roof for me. The sky would be the roof. Because I know how they look at us when we do that. You know, like, for example, when I was in the Army, you know, when you go through the airport with your monkey suit on, as we call it, it's a ton of respect from these white folks, you know. They buy me steak dinners, they buy me drinks, beers, all that. But when I don't have that on, it's a whole different vibe. They clutching just another nigga. You know, they clutching their purse and all that. So I went into it to get over on them and not them to get over on me.
And that goes to the narrative of what we call the Magical Negro. And what was that? The Summer of Bagger Vance. That was Will Smith's movie, where he played the Magical Negro who came and actually helped white people. And you know, people like Hattie McDaniels, you know, because you're helping white people. As long as you're helping their race, you okay with them.
Yep. And then the thing with that, even when I was in, you know, because I went in, I was about 27, 28. So
you went in older.
Yeah. So a lot of my counterparts, a lot of my other privates, they were 17, 18. So the same mind game they were doing on them and it was working, it wasn't working on me. Say, y'all, whatever, y'all can't do that to me. That's not gonna happen. Whatever. So I had this reputation as this tough guy. And so my mom, she was just going through some pictures the other day. And so she pulled out my picture from graduation. And so I was the only one without my weapon that day because, you know, they had it in for me. So they trumped up some stuff that some little white girl said I was gonna shoot her. Like, why would I shoot her? We don't even have real bullets in his gun. You know what I'm saying? So it was just messing with me because of who I was. And so, like I said, I went in it to get over on them and not the reverse.
Yeah. See, my older brother went to the Air Force, and he went, of course, you know, after high school. You know, he tried college for a little bit, but it wasn't for him. And before he became a victim of, you know, Milwaukee, he went into it himself. You know, I remember him being in, what was that, New Mexico, his first stop, and where he did his basic training and stuff, I think. And I remember paying for my whole family to go down there to see him, you know, when he got out of it, you know. And you know, it just what your story just reminds me of, the black male trying to find themselves and trying to lean on their country to become something. And then when you come out, you know,
they don't give a damn about nobody. And so,
rest in peace to my best friend, David Burnett.
You know, it's just the thing about the whole racism. Racism to me, really, it flip-flops between, depending on the day of the week, between classism. Because I feel like that's the real deal in this country. If you ain't got no money, they don't care about you. You know what I'm saying? And so it flips between classism and racism. And so when you're black, you get them both. Just if you don't have any money.
My thing is, why do we trust
the system?
Well, the system and them more so than we do ourselves. It's like, can we take that same effort? Can we take our same resources and put it in ourselves and have more?
Listen, another thing too,
is it possible?
We have to take our money back. So we spend X amount of $1 trillion a year, and that's power, but we don't know it. You know, we'd rather go buy Gucci and Fendi and all that. And all that stuff is cool, but that shouldn't make you. It shouldn't add value to you. It's just something you want to buy. But we have to take our money back, and then they'll start respecting us. You can believe that.
We talked about COVID earlier. And with all of the resources that came because of COVID, you know, the unemployment, the food shares, everything, the PPP loans, all that kind of stuff. And, you know, we talk about this black stuff and us coming together and doing things, but did we really come together in a time where we kind of was shut up from the rest of the country and it was just us? Did we do something with that?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Like I said, man, a lot of time, a lot of us, we get into a certain spot and, you know, we instead of reaching down, we looking down talking shit instead of reaching down to help us out. And, you know, that's just crazy. With all the black millionaires we got and black billionaires, there's no reason we should resort to them for nothing.
It was some households $50,000 and on that block, because of the children that they had. And it was like, we could have put our money together.
Could have bought the block.
Oh my God.
You know what I'm saying? We could
Oh,
buy the
my
block.
It's tough to preach that when people have only known capitalism. Because this is the kind of system that we're under now.
Yeah.
And I think the way that we think about it, when we think about the Black collective coming together, it's more of a socialist kind of mentality.
A lot of stuff is cliche in my opinion. We do it for the gram. Like we do all this, but
Did we get used to people doing for us so much? Did we get so comfortable with handouts that we forgot how to actually serve ourselves?
absolutely.
Like Tosa,
And that's what
like Rosewood.
and that's what they do it for. Like I said, we some bad MFs, and it's so crazy and it's sad that they know it, but we don't. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's a picture floating around. When I saw it, it was so profound and it stuck with me. It was a group of about 10 black dudes. They bend over, and the white dudes is they sitting around them in chairs, and there's a board on top of them, and it's like they're playing a game on their backs. And it says, if we stand up, basically their game is over.
Game is over.
And that was so profound because it's true. If we stand up, it'll be over. There's nothing they can do with us. Even with us being healthy, it's like some stuff that's natural with us being healthy that makes them unhealthy.
I was watching The
You
Wire.
know what I'm saying?
I was binging on The Wire the last couple of days, and the one I don't know if he was a lieutenant, but it was the tall black guy who was running the whole unit, and he was talking to his girlfriend about the things that was going on with the unit and with the streets, and how the bureaucracy that he had to deal with along with the streets is like, this is a failure. And his girlfriend told him, she said, well, if you don't play the game, you can't lose. But he said, he asked her, he said, I thought that we play the game to win. And she went through this spiel about, she ran what was going on, in his life back to him. And it came back to the conclusion that if you don't play the game, you can't lose. And so the thing is that we have to start our own game. We got to put our own chessboard out there with our own rules. And reconnect with each other and do what we got to do for each other to be self-sufficient.
Man, I think if it's somebody who's willing to stand up and hold that position, we have to follow them, put all the ego and the pride aside and follow them instead of trying to dig in their past and try to tear them down. Like I said, I know the man who's been giving us the game for 60 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But he did this, he killed. Yeah, right. Stop it. That's what they want you to
propaganda.
do. So whenever they want to tear down somebody, they put it in the media and they make it look bad, like Muammar Gaddafi.
Yeah.
There's no reason we should have been going anywhere after him. So what they do is they get a black face in there.
Send the black
Y'all know his
president.
name. We get the black dude in there
Yeah.
and send him after them.
And the sad thing about that is he even admitted after his presidency that was his stain.
Listen, I voted
about
for
going
him.
about going after Gaddafi. That was his stain, and he wished he didn't do it. But at the same time, brother, who advised him to do it? Hillary Clinton.
Really?
Yes, she was the
and y'all was screaming to have her voted for.
She was who was the main one who goes out to all who goes out to all the countries on the Secretary of, I can't remember what it was. I can't, my mind is blank right now, but it was Hillary Clinton's advice that they did that, and it was wrong.
Yeah, over in that country, man, they had free health care. They got a piece of the land. They got gold. They got free tuition, free health care. Like, what the hell?
Everything.
We with the state of America going over there different in our business for. But we got veterans that are homeless. We got so many other homeless people and
suicide rate.
Like all these problems here.
And he was trying to unify the black dollar on the continent.
And that's why they took them out. That's why they took them out. So instead of
keep their
us going over there, we should have been fixing here first. You know what I'm saying? So and then they parading that man around the country dead. It was just sad. It was terrible. So
now all that being said,
respect for Obama after that.
America and her great amnesia.
Yes. Well, all that being said, it wraps up. I know people well, we're not going off a tangent at all from the movie circumstances, what you have, your placement in it. But we want to talk about the script of the movie and what it's really about.
Well, it's about a pimp, Keyshawn. And in the first movie, he was really up. He was doing well. And towards the first movie, you can kind of see his decline. So in the second one, he was in full mode of falling off. And so Yeah, so he was falling off in the second one. The third one I can't really speak on, but it was just showing the contrast of being up and down for this particular pimp. So in this movie, he's lost a lot. He's took a lot of L's, and so you got to stay tuned for the third one.
So your record label was Rhare Music.
Rhare Music.
Where did you come up with that name?
Just me liking different rare music, pretty much. I spelled it a different way, but it's only so much ass shaking and pistol toting that I want to hear about. So every artist that I want to work with, they have to be a real artist and be able to, speak on other topics besides that. And that's cool and it's entertainment, but I want to see, some more content that we can actually relate to that's going to get us somewhere instead of, perpetuating what they're doing and bringing us down at the same time.
So do you like different genres? Like
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. I
Rock
like
and
R&B,
roll
neo
and-
soul, and I don't like no rock and roll. Neo soul, R&B, all that type of stuff, so it can't be just all rap. Sometimes when you riding with your lady, you want to hear some slow stuff. You don't want to hear about no gun toting and shooting and shit.
You're talking about your lady now.
Yeah.
So now we getting into what the G Spot also covers is love and relationships.
Baby, love.
And so, brother, with all the things that you got going on, you 1 minute you in this city and another minute you in that city. How is that affecting your love life, brother?
Well, you gotta have somebody that's willing to ride with you, man, regardless. So if I'm gone or away, they know what it's about. It's about helping us all, So if I'm out on the road paying the bill, you gotta respect that.
Hey, G, you said they.
Huh?
You said they.
No, not
Right, because I'm listening, I'm thinking polygamy. I'm like, dang, okay.
I was thinking in general.
I heard polygamy.
It's
I
not
heard
like
polygamy.
It's not like I got a harem or anything like that.
We bullshit.
It's just, my lady, she understands what it's about when I'm gone, and I hate being gone, but at the end of the day, me being gone helps pay the bills and raising the family. So that's just what it is. So she respects it, and she don't get in the way of it. So it's all good.
That's love. That's love.
That's love. That is love. So what's up next? What else are you working on?
Well, I'm working on the Untitled. That's the movie we just finished. Untitled, Gravy's in that one too. And I'm looking for some artists, of course, and also I got into another business. I'm in the trucking business now. That $800 billion industry I had to get a piece of. So
Be rich, bitch.
yeah. So it's like you gotta just have your hand in a few pots, just in case one fizzle out, you can have this to fall back on. You know what I'm saying? So I'm also
Multiple streams of income.
I'm a serial entrepreneur, and that's just what it is. Because I knew I was 20 something. 2007 is when I had my last job, and so I was actually working at Time Warner Cable, and I was making good money, $60,000-$70,000 a year, but I just didn't like being locked up in that cage for all them hours. I didn't like the white man standing over me, knowing that if we were in the streets, he wouldn't come talk to me like that. So I didn't know what it was at the time, but once I got older, I knew that's what it was. That I just don't want to work a job because my hard work is putting somebody else on vacation. So I figured I'll be in control of it. It's been ups and downs, of course, but it's all worth it. You know what I mean? Just to have control of your time and add value to your family, because you never get rich working for nobody. And I'm not knocking anybody who has a job, but it's just not for me. You know what I mean? So 2007 was my last time punching the clock. I did a little, the Army thing, but that was just a stepping stone to come up. You know what I'm saying?
So do you have any other musical ventures going on, or
just the project to Untangle. We're working on that right now.
And what are you looking for?
What kind of artists are you?
Oh, it's on an R&B tip. So all R&B artists out there.
And this is for a new movie.
Yeah, it's a new movie. You get a free placement. Look up placement. If you don't know what that is, but yeah. So as many movies as Swift doing, I'm probably gonna do all the soundtracks for it. So we like Mike and Scotty at the film industry.
That's what's up.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's about it.
So how do they reach you if they want to,
Well, I'm on Instagram at Rhare, RHARE, CEO _ Ju, JU, or you can email me rharemusic@gmail.com.
Okay. Well, brother, we appreciate this. I mean, I know we're probably about 10 minutes before.
Go about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
So
That's all y'all got? I ain't got nothing else from me. Y'all got me out the house, man. I don't really come out too much,
Yeah,
But no, I mean, but anything that you want to say to the people in general, anything you want people to know.
Yeah, man, we just gotta work on uniting, man. That's the real thing, because people who look like us, we shouldn't be worried about, to be honest. But the sad reality is that that's where we are. So we got to turn the ship around, man, because like I said, they know how great we are. So we have to wake up and know how great we are too. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I do everything I can. Like, it's not everything I've done, I try to involve somebody. Yeah. Hey, you want a piece of this, or come do this, get on to that. It's never just to get up to a certain spot and just turn my back. So I always reach down. And so I think that's the thing that a lot of us need to do. If you're in a situation to help somebody, you need to do it. Yeah. Period.
Yeah, gotta stop being scared of working with each other.
Yeah.
For real.
And that's not the Milwaukee way, but we got to do better.
Yeah, we got to do better. Stop stealing these damn cars, and you see a young person or a young brother doing something, pull him to the side and respectfully tell him what he's doing is wrong. It's gonna lead you there, because we do all this stuff that ends us up in jail, and then we get these 30, 40 years, and now we want to get smart.
And a lot of times we forget that we did some ignorant stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
we did.
We used to steal cars when we were young, in middle school.
Absolutely.
I remember stealing cars and going to the high school dance.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
I never got off into that because my mom would beat my ass. You know what I'm saying? The whole family would beat my ass. My mama, my granddaddy, grandma, all of them. So,
everybody.
yeah, I didn't want no parts of that. So of course we did our little, ignorant juvenile stuff, but this is out of control.
There were some limitations too.
And it's like, I don't want to just be highlighting the problems without offering a solution. So,
exactly. And
so,
I say that because I think that in order to be respectful to young people, we got to remember what we went through ourselves too. And the things that we're asking them to stop doing, our elders were asking us to do the same thing, and before we can have any kind of change and, any kind of successes with our young people, we cannot treat them like they're just some throwaway generation, and because they're not. They are reacting to this reality. They actually have more strength than what we had.
Yeah, there's some soldiers, and they're revolutionary, but they need to channel that into the right way.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
We gotta help that.
Being ignorant is easy, but being smart and calculated and successful, that's a whole nother area that we have to use our mental to get that done. You know what I'm saying? So whatever I can do to help, but it's gonna take some people, some real bosses in this city to come together and figure out what we can do. So if we got everybody, because we all from different hoods. So if we come together and then branch out to our hoods, our respective hoods, we can get this done. And I know it can be done. Yeah.
So with that kind of ideology that you have, Ju, your family connections, and that strong tie you got, do you see yourself being on that kind of level where you would have that kind of influence over people?
I think the goal is to get there one day, but at the same time, you do have to, I think, have something tangible that you can show them. If not, they're gonna say, "Oh, get the hell out of here. You just an old nigga, don't know what you're talking about." But I don't want that to be the case. So I want to have something tangible, something that's really successful. To be like, "Hey, yo, let me show you how to do this." So stop spending all that negative energy over here and get positive and do it this way. Like, you can still do your thing, and but let's be smart about this.
Yeah, and that's important. Before you go and try to talk to a young person, what do you have to offer?
Right. Exactly.
What changes did you make in your life that they can see, that they can emulate? And that's the thing. A lot of times we want to go out and tell people what they should be doing, but you can't offer it. You can't really give them a real solution.
Yeah. So that's what I did with this soundtrack, man. I said I wanted to come home and just mess with the city. Yeah. So I hit up every artist once I got here, and got about 26 songs on there, man. So we was able to make something happen. So I just want to keep building off of that. Like I said, I take pride in that. It's history, so I don't want to toot my own horn, but it's banging and it's history. So
y'all hear that, Milwaukee? Check out your people. Check out your people. Check out the movie Circumstances too. Check out the soundtrack.
And it's on every platform: Apple Music, Tidal, wherever you get your music from. It's there.
And Rhare Music is spelled Rhare. Music, Music. Okay, so make sure you get it right when you trying to hit the brother up. If you're an R&B artist, we're looking for placements and something big to do, something to come out your comfort zone and to really get into what you're trying to do with your music. This is a person that you want to hit up.
Yeah. Okay. We sold out we had two showings of the movie, and it was sold out in COVID. So I know with COVID lifting up a little bit, we're gonna shout out to Swift, man, because he platform, you know, it's
Shout
not
out
like
Swift, yeah.
something I just came across or something I created. My man blessed me with that opportunity. So I passed the blessing down or forward.
That's how it's supposed to go.
Yeah. Keep it in the family,
That's how it's
baby.
supposed to go.
How can they reach you again, Ju? Can you shout that out again? one more
Rhare
time?
Music at gmail.com. That's RHAREMUZIC at Gmail, or Rhare RHARECEO_Ju on Instagram.
All right. Rhare Music. Thank you, Ju, for
Yeah,
being with
let's
us.
work.
Let's work. Y'all work with the brother. Hit him up.
Thank y'all for having me.
Y'all
too.
gotta have good music, and we appreciate you being here, brother.
No problem. Anytime I'm here. If I blow up, I'm coming back to do the G spot.
Yes,
That's
come
what's
on
happening.
back to the
No matter what.
That's what's happening.
Yep. Appreciate y'all.
Shout out Bo Black. Shout out T.Y. Little. Bo, happy birthday. You just had a birthday on Sunday.
Happy birthday,
y'all.
brother.
Derek Marks.
1978 was such a good year.
It was a great year, baby.
81.
We'll take 80s too. Protect your hearts, Derek Marks. What's happening? Final Cut Multimedia and another quality lifestyle. We love y'all. Shout out to y'all. Ju, we appreciate you.
Oh, thank you for having me.
Thank you
Appreciate
so
y'all.
much,
Love what
brother.
y'all doing.
We out of here, y'all.
Peace.
Till next time, baby.
Yes.
Drew, we'll see you next week, baby.
Yeah.